Welcome back to Breakthrough Fitness NOLA. I'm Adam the trainer, and in today's video we're going to talk about how strength training can increase your life expectancy. We're also going to talk about full range of motion versus partial range of motion. Which one is better? And if so, when to use which one to get your desired outcome. Last but not least, we're going to talk about how to prevent or stop the reoccurrence from ACL injuries. Please take a moment before we dive in the video to subscribe, like, comment, and share these videos. Also, don't forget to tick the little bell so you'll get notified when Breakthrough Fitness NOLA upload new content, because all of them or any one of those that you decide to do really helps the channel grow, and I want to keep making these videos and growing with you guys. So let's just dive right on. So there's now new evidence that shows, which is no surprise to me, that strength training helps increase your life expectancy, even if you have a disease as serious as certain types of cancer, diabetes, high blood pressure, and so forth and so on. Let's just think about it. When you do any activity, it already helps your immune system become stronger. It eliminates waste from your body. It increases your cell development, which protects your body from diseases from the outside world. So if we add strength training to it, not just cardiovascular training, but adding strength training to the cardiovascular training, it's been shown that 91% of the people that has a disease and do strength training in conjunction with cardiovascular training, their life expectancy has increased. That should sound like something that's exciting, because maybe with what's currently going on, and we're not going to name the disease because I don't want to be demonetized, but it's probably going to be time, as time goes on, it's probably going to be more studies that come out that shows that resistance training with cardiovascular training can also increase your life expectancy if you contract this current disease. So that's why I think it's imperative that you guys out there implement strength training along with your cardiovascular training. And strength training and resistance training is the same thing. If you do not have to have expensive equipment to do any of these activities. You can use bodyweight training as calisthenics, which is push-ups, or HIIT type of movements, which is like squat jumps, hill climbers and or mountain climbers, burpees, jumping jacks, and you can also do resistance training with anything that you have laying around your house. Resistance bands is one. Some of y'all may have old Bowflexes at home. Some of y'all may have total gyms at home. All kind of equipment that you just spend money on over the years, break all that out. If you don't feel comfortable going to a gym or a training studio or whatever you may have, you still have no excuse not to be active. It is very important because it can increase your life expectancy in 91% of the individuals. So please become active. Take part of the revolution. Get off the couch. You have time that you could devote to exercise, at least 60 minutes. Y'all have all these smart watches that tracks your steps, heart rate, all kind of metrics. So there's really no reason not to go to the gym, because I feel like if you have a bad day, going to the gym will make it better. That's very, 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 very important. So let's change our behavior and let's move forward and let's be active together. Come to Breakthrough Fitness NOLA. We're growing, we're surging, our community is building, and we are moving forward and we are on fire. Please keep that in mind. Okay, the next thing we're going to talk about is full range of motion versus partial range of motion. I get a lot of clients in my studio that always ask me, hey, is my form correct? I don't want to do it wrong. I want to feel like I'm getting the full range of motion, and I want to get as much muscle development as possible. And as I explained to them, in some of the activities, partial range of motion is good. Reason being, is if we're doing an activity that they're not used to doing, it is no reason for us not to do that activity. We have to start somewhere. Think of yourself as when you have a baby. When they first start to try to walk, their form is not good. They may fall down and get some bumps and bruises, but as they keep trying to keep doing that repetitive motion of attempting to try to walk, eventually their form becomes better. Why? Because they develop the muscle memory with the brain and the body. And also in doing that, they develop the strength and endurance of the heart and the skeletal muscular system to perform that act. So in the studies that's currently that I read, people that do full range of motion do develop more muscular strength and muscular development than those who do partial range of motion. But it has an asterisk by it. The ones that did partial range of motion, it took them longer to get to the full range of motion, but they eventually got there and they developed just as much muscle and muscular endurance and muscular skeletal strength as their counterparts. So what that leads me to believe is, whenever you start any exercise program, especially if it's something that you're unfamiliar with, your form may not be spot on, but that's okay. Because what we're trying to do is develop the activity to be consistent and get those small goals, accomplish them to make bigger goals. I think, and matter of fact, I know that that's what most of the common person problem is when it comes to activity. I get people in my studio, they want to get the shortcut. They don't want to work as hard or as long. They want to go get some type of cream, some type of pill, some type of surgery, some type of fat waste, some kind of fat burning waistband. All of that is fine, but it doesn't substitute the fact that you have to actually do the activity consistently. I'm going to say it one more time. There's no substitution for doing the activity consistently and doing it right. So if you do the activity, whether you use partial range of motion to get the full range of motion, or you're already familiar with that exercise and you use full range of motion to get the job done. I'm going to tell you an example of when partial range of motion may be better than full range of motion for people that have injuries. Rehabilitation exercises. If we have a person that may have a shoulder injury, they can't do the shoulder press in full range of motion because they don't want to risk re-injuring the area that they already injured. But partial range of motion of a shoulder press will, over time, develop the ligaments and tendons in the shoulder area. Also, it's going to help the mind and muscle synapse, which is mind muscle memory, become stronger and start to fire off those nerves to do the work. And it's also because I already stated at first that strength training increases life expectancy, so it's also going to help develop the immune system so we can get things back to working in tip-top shape. That's the whole goal. Now let's talk about when full range of motion is better than partial range of motion. Let's say we have a person who's been exercising for a long time. They've just been out of activity because of life situations. So we may start them out with a bench press exercise. Now we want them to use full range of motion. Why? Because they didn't not be active because of injury in that area. So I want to develop that area to the fullest. And since they already have mind muscle memory that just needs to be sharpened up, I would want full range of motion from that person in that exercise. So to reiterate to you guys at home, when is one better than the other? Partial range of motion is better for rehabilitation activities. Full range of motion is better for a person that's been exercising before, but they've just been out a while and they don't have an injury in that specific body part and they want to get back active again. That is very important. And remember, guys, take a moment, subscribe, like, comment, and share these videos. All of those things really help the channel grow, and it's very important. And please, if you're still here with me, stay tuned to the end, because I want to go over some nutritional advice for you guys at home, because that is 95% of the problem and why you guys are not achieving your fitness goals. All right, the last thing I want to talk about is preventing an ACL injury from happening or reoccurring. For those of you who don't know at home, the ACL is a band located in your knee. And what it's responsible for is responsible for leg stability, because the knee is actually a pivot joint that goes back and forth in the bones in your leg. And the ACL is responsible to help people in pivoting, playing sports, basketball, or catching footballs, or any other sport, tennis, for when you have to stop and pivot to change direction. So a lot of these injuries occur, and it don't always have to be with contact. Actually, a lot of people that injured their ACL wasn't doing no contact at all. They just was performing simple everyday functions or practicing with just body weight for the sport that they love. Just a little hint, a little side note. People that are more the gender that is more susceptible to ACL injuries, I'm sorry ladies, is females. They're doing studies on that to see why that is true, but more females have a capacity to get an ACL injury, especially if they're playing contact sports. So let's go over how to prevent an ACL injury from reoccurring. The first part is mental training. A lot of people that have ACL injuries had them. They're scared to use that part of their body to do that activity and that function. As far as pivoting, cutting in football and basketball or any sport, even though the surgeon told them that their knee is totally reconstructed. So the first thing first, we have to develop the behavior in our mind and have confidence in our body. Because if we doing a sport and activity, we're so guarded into not re-injuring that area, that's exactly what's going to happen. Because you're being so ginger trying to do the movement, we can't actually really train intensely enough to get your body the actual stimulation it needs to strengthen that area. That's number one. Mental focus, mental training, believing that that injury will not occur. Because what you thinking here, you let come out your mouth, and that will manifest itself in your daily life. Point blank, period. The next thing would be to do strength training exercises for the legs. Squats, leg extensions, lunges, leg curls, flexibility work. All of those things are very important to strengthen the tendons, the ligaments, the muscles in that reconstructed knee. Also, strength training does what? It increases your life expectancy. Period. It's so many benefits to activity. I just don't understand why more people is not trying to be fit. It absolutely does not make any sense to me. I'm trying to figure it out, but I'm also doing something about it by opening Breakthrough Fitness NOLA, going into our 11th year in business, and we are changing lives. I see the comments on my Google page where people look me up, or on my thumbtack, wherever they talk about the training that they're receiving on Instagram. They are elated to say that they are getting a good experience with us, and they're also seeing the changes in their body, one change at a time. And you guys at home could do it. And if you can't actually physically come to Breakthrough Fitness NOLA, you can like, subscribe, comment, and share the videos and be a member of our growing online community, our online family. Okay? The next thing we could do to prevent the ACL injuries is work on our biomechanics. And what that means, basically polymetric drills, which is like something like squat and jump, or hill climbers, mountain climbers, burpees, or doing some high intensity interval training on a treadmill or outdoors, either one you feel comfortable with, or doing some on a bike, the recumbent bike with the resistance up and down, just for some intervals. Those things will help your body. Once again, we bring in the cardiovascular into it, because that has to go along with the mental strength training and the strength training. It is imperative that you do both together, but also the flexibility in the balance training. That also needs to go into the activity, into the strength plan, into the fitness plan, to help people not injure themselves or re-injure the ACL or injure them in the first place. That's why you see a lot of athletes trying to become more flexible, taking some yoga, some balance classes, swimming to add resistance in, because it's more about fluidity of your body movement. It's very important, but you guys have to be consistent. And I know you may not want to hear it. You have to invest in your money. You invest your money to invest it in your body. You have to. Some of the things you can't do on your own, but some of the things you need coaching. You need to be part of a community that's trying to move in the same direction that you're in. Like they say, if you want to be wealthy, you don't hang around broke people. You go find other wealthy people to find out what they do in a day, how they think, how they become task oriented, so you have a higher probability of one day, if you implement those strategies and tools, to be wealthy. I'm doing the same thing on this channel with you guys. And I'm really glad that you clicked on this video and allowing me to be a part of your life, welcoming me into your home, and putting me as a tool in your fitness toolbox so we all could grow together. Because even though I'm the trainer, I'm still learning and I'm still pressing forward. And that's something that I'm proud of. Now, we finally made it to the end of the video. I'm going to give you the nutrition tips that I promised you in the beginning. I just want to go over some things. I have a carbohydrate, something like Cheerios. I have some liquid protein that's ready to drink already. And I have some almonds, which is another form of protein, but it's very easy to bring with you and pack with you, and it has a long shelf life. Now, the Cheerios, that'll be good for a pre-workout meal. A lot of people ask me, well, what can I eat before I work out? This is a carbohydrate source. Now, I would recommend eating something like this in the morning if you're going to have a morning workout. Now, some people that are doing the intermittent fasting, that's fine. You don't have to eat anything. But for those of you who want to get the most out of their performance before doing the activity, carbohydrates taken at least 2 to 3 hours pre-workout will give you the glucose that you need to be explosive during the activity. Now, when you pair this with a protein of your choice, that's why people have milk with their cereal. Or they can have this, which is the carb, put the milk with the cereal, and put whatever nuts of their choice within the cereal. And you can even make it more nutritional by adding a banana to it. Now you got protein, carbohydrate, which is not full of sugar, because we don't want the sugar content to be high, because we want a slow digestion. So our blood sugar won't peak up and then drop straight down. We want it to peak up because we need it for the event, and then the protein added in the healthy fat gonna keep that sugar and blood sugar going into a nice range so you can perform without crashing. So you do not need to be carb phobic. Now for those people at home, I have this ready to drink, okay? But they have so many choices out there for protein drinks. Some of y'all vegetarian, they have vegetarian protein options now. That's made, the protein is coming from peas, beans, nuts, seeds, soy. It's so much out there. If you do your research or leave a comment, and I could respond to your comment to give you some other suggestions on ready to drink or powdered proteins that are vegan. And for some of y'all that's not vegetarian, y'all might like the traditional whey protein. Just leave comments and I'll answer you and we'll get that problem solved for you. But we also have nuts. Nuts is good to bring with you anywhere that you go. They don't take up a lot of space. No refrigeration is required. All you need to have is something to put it in and seal it in this great slow digestion protein, as well as good healthy fats that you guys need. And I would recommend these in the latter part of the day, where you might be working out in the afternoon. You know, the time went on, you may not burn those carbohydrates, so you don't want fat storage, but you need something on your stomach that your body could use to digest for energy, but not give you that raise up all high in your blood sugar. Just give you enough to get you through the activity. So for those of you who are active in the evening and you don't have it ready to drink, nuts will be a good valuable option for you. But measure them, watch them, because they are very high in calories, so you can't overeat them. But just for those at home, if you're trying to lose weight, you can't overeat any calories, but you should just make a calorie deficit by either cutting back on some of the food portions that you're having, or if you feel like you have to cut the carbohydrates out, you cut the carbohydrates out and you just have your protein and or high fiber is slow digesting carbs, which is vegetable, and now you still have created that deficit, as long as you don't replace the carbohydrates that we just took out for more protein or higher fat choices. So we are at the end of the video. Remember, like, subscribe, share, comment, do them all if you want. It really helps the channel grow. I'm Adam the Trainer, and until next time, keep breaking through.